This is Olivia Saunders
and Sam Cohen reporting to you at the University of Maryland. We are here to talk about an issue that has been occurring across college campuses nationwide. This dilemma is not getting enough recognition and needs to be acknowledged in order for there to be changes on college campuses. Greek life can be intimidating for people who feel even the slightest bit different. Hold on. This has just been reported.
Sorority at SMU considered anti-lesbian. At Southern Methodist University, 2 female students began dating privately their freshman year. Sophomore year, one of the women became a member of a sorority and urged her partner to join that same one. However, rushing this sorority did not go as planned. The upperclassmen found out about the relationship and made the couple feel very uncomfortable. In fact, the female experiencing the rushing process dropped out because she felt unaccepted.
This example is just one of the many instances of sexual orientation discrimination. This problem affects the LGBTQ community, also known as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer and/or questioning individuals or identities. This is a social issue, and many schools are trying to assimilate diversity among their campuses and Greek life in particular. We are questioning individuals who are involved in the Greek community at the University of Maryland about their input on issues concerning the LGBTQ community. As we speak, we are receiving a call from our star reporter, Rachel Lefkowitz. Lefkowitz is on the search for students in Greek life in order to question them about their thoughts on this issue.
Are you in a sorority?
Yes, I'm a sorority on campus.
If somebody was rushing your sorority and she said that she was a lesbian, how would that affect your opinion on her entering your sorority?
That wouldn't affect my opinion. I really feel very welcoming to other people and would want like a more diverse community. But I think to other people, or some people excluding myself, they might not feel as welcoming towards someone like that because they don't view it as like the normal way to see people.
What about if somebody was rushing your sorority and she was transgender, and which means she identifies as a female but is biologically a male? How would that change your opinion?
That would change my opinion like slightly. I mean, I guess if they identify as a female, that's like how they identify themselves. But I mean, personally, I think that's kind of hard to like. It's very people have very different views on it, and just because they think one thing, other people are going to think different things, and I think that's something that people are going to feel more different about.
Are you in a fraternity?
Yes, I am.
If you were rushing someone who identified as male but was biologically female, how would that affect their ability to get into your fraternity?
Personally, knowing the fact that they're actually female and not male, I guess it would be a hard issue to deal with. But I guess we would figure it out and see what we can do. We're not against people of different kinds, I guess we would say. But I don't know.
Okay.
Are you in a sorority?
Yes.
If you were rushing someone who identified as female but was biologically male, how would that affect your opinion of them entering your sorority?
I genuinely don't think it would change my opinion on them. If they identified themselves as female, then I would regard them as a female person.
Interview phase. Are you in a sorority?
Yes, I am.
Does anyone in your sorority identify as lesbian?
No, not that I'm aware of, but there is somebody that identifies herself as being bisexual.
If she brought another girl to your formal as a date, not as a friend, how do you think you would react?
I'd be okay with it.
Do you think anybody would react in a negative manner?
I'm sure that some people would feel uncomfortable about it, but I personally wouldn't. I would be completely okay with it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you in a fraternity?
I am.
So if you were rushing someone for your fraternity and they were biologically a female, but they
Okay.
identified as a male, how would that affect your opinion on them joining your fraternity?
I probably wouldn't give them a bid because it's kind of weird, like, to have someone be even though they identify as like a male, it'd be kind of weird for, even though they identify as a male, but they're biologically female, so it'd be kind of weird, like, if they try to live in our house, they're still biologically female, so it's kind of weird.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about what we think about the interviews.
So while filming, I was able to notice that when Rachel would ask the questions, people would smile nervously and not know how to answer because they didn't want to be wrong. And they also didn't want to say that they were against it because they were scared that they were going to get in trouble in some sort of manner.
Yeah, like a
That's
lot
what
of the
it
time,
felt.
like when we were done talking to them, I felt like people were trying, were like, should I have said that? Like, should I have added more? Because they wanted to make sure that they seemed politically correct.
It just, when I was interviewing everyone, they seemed like kind of uncomfortable. They would like laugh uncomfortably, like while I was talking to them, and you could just tell that it like it's not a topic that they are used to talking about or want to talk about.
And it's also interesting because realistically, most people won't feel comfortable having like a transgender or gay or lesbian in their frat or sorority. Like, it's not that common, so like we're obviously not that comfortable with it. But it was just interesting how every single person said on the camera that they would be comfortable with it, which is probably not true. Like, realistically.
Especially when some people actually didn't want to be in our project because they didn't like how they answered the question and thought that it portrayed them badly.
Right. And also, people in the beginning, before we started the camera, their thoughts and feelings were not similar to what they actually said
And
on
when
camera. And when we go up to people and ask, can we interview you for a project? And they're like, yeah, sure, for what? And we'd say, we're going to ask you about lesbian, gay, transgender, questioning. And they're like, I don't have time for it anymore.
Right, yeah. Like, we had a couple of people.
In conclusion, the acceptance of the LGBTQ community in Greek life is a topic that needs to be talked about more. Although some people seem to believe that there is no problem, it is clear that gay, bisexual, and transgender people have a harder time integrating in Greek life than straight people.